All right, let's check this one out. Curtis King is going to talk about how he's releasing his music now, where you can find this music, and what avenue he's using to get his music directly to his fans.
There's some of you out there that feel like music isn't worth much these days.
Oh, sorry, y'all. The video's lagging. I think I have too many too many of them playing. I should have had it pulled up.
There's some
early.
of you out there that feel like music isn't worth much these days. Even as a rapper and producer myself, I might actually agree with you sometimes. Some of this shit is made with no heart, no patience, and no care. So whatever the streaming platforms are paying, 0.0003, that sounds about right. I took the stand to take my music off of streaming because I feel like it's worth more. Whenever you're creating fine art in any other field, it is paid at a top dollar because people see the value in the time that it took to make that fine art. I know that I very well may be in the minority, but I'm not looking for the masses. I'm looking for the album listeners. I'm looking for those who search for music as a form of medicine. There's artists like us that still exist out here, and I need your support. So my newest project, Storm Symphony, is actually an album/instrumental tape that I created with a fantastic composer named Aaron Barber. Aaron Barber created these original compositions that I was able to sample, then send back to him to create these seamless transitions that it almost feels like a movie when you listen to this project. The two biggest inspirations for this project was the movie by Disney, Fantasia, as well as the classic album by Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Mixed together with some heavy drums and bass and 808, then you have a soulful selection called Storm's Symphony. The music is a walk through one of the most tumultuous times in my career, as well as life, and it sounds like what happens when you go through a storm and come out of it. Now, for those
and shout out to Curtis King too. He not only is he an amazing artist, he is an amazing producer too. If you haven't checked him out, I'll have the link to his YouTube channel in the description. Man, great producer. And I think you guys would definitely enjoy a lot of the beats and instrumentals that he makes too. So make sure y'all check that out.
Those of you that are just like me, the outliers, the album listeners, I got some rewards for you by choosing to invest into this project. Not only do you get this amazing music, but you also get access to vinyl, to CDs, an exclusive show that only people who invest in this album will have access to right here in this room. For those of you that are music producers or artists that may have come from my YouTube channel, I got some gifts for you as well. Rappers, for those of you that aspire.
Yeah, and that's interesting. What do y'all think about album listeners versus, I guess, the average listener, you would call it? You think there's a big difference? Do y'all see a big difference in that? It's interesting. I guess it would be kind of like people who are fans of a football team versus people being fans of a player. They might watch the games for a specific player, but not be a fan of a football team where there's like the diehard Bills fans and the diehard, whoever fans, Minnesota Vikings fans out there. I guess I could kind of see the similarities, but I think there's a place for both. And this is where my perspective kind of comes from with this whole direction that Curtis King is going. I think you can have both. I think, and maybe at some point we'll have a conversation with Curtis King. I think he can still release his music and still have certain music that he releases that is just for that specific album listening artist. And then he can still have maybe certain singles or certain songs that he drops on Spotify or other streaming platforms that are available to more of an audience. And then from that audience that he's releasing to on Spotify, say you have content behind that single or content behind the album. And then it's just like posting on Instagram or TikTok. That content that you were making or that music that you were releasing over here on Spotify or TikTok or Instagram can lead more loyal fans into your full album that you're selling for, pay what you want type price. So this is, I think, the biggest disagreement I have with Curtis King when it comes to the streaming platforms, just because I think you can still utilize it as a tool, even if you're not relying on it as a source of income or using it because they pay you a certain amount. So that's just my opinion, because like it or not, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, they have the eyes there. They have the ears there of people who are looking for new music. And if I can take a piece of my music and put it over there, and then people hear it, they want to find out about some of the music that I'm making in other places, and then they become a fan of me and they want to purchase my album for $100, or they want to purchase the album for for a pay what you want type of deal, then I think I should give more opportunity to people to do that. So I think it's still a great thing that Curtis is doing, but man, I think there's still a lot of opportunity out there for more people to hear and become a part of your loyal listeners and loyal fan base. But I mean, there's other ways that you could do that too. You could do it by not putting your music on Spotify. You could do it by creating content, which y'all saw Curtis King is still doing. So, I mean, obviously there's different ways to do it, but shout out to him. What is 90M Beats is in the building. Shout out to 90M Beats. He said Apple Vision is about to launch February 2nd. Digital media isn't going anywhere. Absolutely, man. Only going to get crazier, in my opinion. AR, music, videos, where you're right in the living room type of vibes. Yep, absolutely. And he's given showing love to Aaron Barber. He said Aaron is a beast on the keys. And then lastly, he says wifey prefers albums. I think, yeah, I don't know about the kids and the up and coming listeners, but I think most people, if they like an artist, will listen to the album. But I don't have the data on that, so I can't really say for sure. He said 90MB says wifey prefers albums, always looking for an album she can listen through without skipping. Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way, man, but I'm old, so that probably doesn't apply. He says there is an art to crafting an album. Absolutely. And you see, that's why, yeah, that's absolutely true. All right, so we're gonna move on. Again, I will drop the links to Curtis King's album and all his information inside the description of this video. But we've got one more thing we're going to listen to, and I'm going to let this one run through a little bit more than the last video. I'm going to try not to interrupt it too much. But this is where Curtis King was talking to La Russell, and this is a great lead into a couple of other shows that we're going to do coming up this week, to where we talk about La Russell and what he's doing. But he's asking La Russell and talking to La Russell about, now that he's not relying so much on streaming platforms, how he actually gets his music to his fans and which model he's taking from getting music to his fans. And y'all just listen to it and let me know what you think in the chat.
Pay what you want. As much as I see information, blog posts, videos from people who obviously haven't done it before.
Right.
Chat GPT it. Right. Trying to understand this world. It's
Shout out to
crazy
Chat
how many
GPT.
marketers, because I do like a lot of artist marketing videos and whatnot, how many marketers have come to me, and that's one of my first passions, was marketing along with music, because I felt like I could weave it the same way that I weave together a beat.
Right.
With that said though, there's a lot of confusion I feel with, at least on their end, how that actually generates income when you're able to set,
That's true.
maybe set a bar, maybe not set a bar, but not for making sense for their sake, but for the sake of us as artists who are looking into that, who want to give the opportunity for somebody that said, look, I not only rock with your music, but you helped me through a dark period in my life. I have to show love in a much different way.
Excuse me.
What is kind of what's the science on that? Like, what is, as I'm trying to understand it and set price points, it's like, no matter where I go, and now I'm talking to the guy.
So there's variations, right? There's Proud to Pay. I think both of them are variations of Proud to Pay. Shout out Nipsey for just creating that blueprint. But so I use,
yeah, and when he's saying proud to pay, basically it means you put the album or you put the item out there. Let's just say let's just say this speaker. So you put the speaker out there, you create it for your community or for consumers, and you say, okay, you guys can pay whatever you want to pay for this speaker to support the mission. So that's kind of what he's talking about there, or just to support the artist.
I use two variations of Proud to Pay. I use Pay What You Want and I use Offer Base, right? When I do Pay What You Want, I don't really have an intention of making profit. Like, I know what it is, and I understand that you may not have the means to afford whatever I'm providing.
Sure.
And I'm okay with that. That's why, like, when we do Momo's Proud to Pay, it's like, the goal is to feed people. I know niggas ain't finna cut. Like, bro, the goal, if you didn't have funds to eat and you needed this, I don't expect you to do that.
It's not what it's about.
Right? So people misconstrue it and like, oh, they ain't gonna make no profit. It's like, no fucking shit. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the platforms that you can use to give your fans this option if you decide to go this route.
I made
I'm not,
it.
you think I'm
right.
fucking feeding people to make money?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no one does that to make money.
Yeah.
That's not the route you take. You don't
Right.
feed the community because you want to make some fucking money. You feel me?
And to preface, I'm not asking that for like the best financial come up in it. I, to a fault, would do that with my audience where they're like, you can't be giving this out for free.
But you can and you should. And it's not free. Now someone's paying. Like when I do albums, the profit potential is endless because it costs me nothing to make an album. I record in my own studio. These are all my homies.
There you go,
this is
man.
money that we didn't have.
That's
so if
dope.
it didn't cost us nothing to make it, and now a nigga just gave me $1,000, $2,000, $250, $2, $3, nigga.
Right.
If I go somewhere and my pocket's empty and I leave with $5, I didn't lose that day. You feel me? So that's a W. And then
That's
we
so
scale
true.
the offer base. Like when we do backyard shows, it's offer base. Because, and not even because I'm like, I have to make a profit, but because I have more responsibility that comes with that. So it's like, yeah, I have to pay more. I'm feeding everyone. You feel me? So in that case, everything's not conducive, but I still let niggas, you know, no matter what I do, I still let niggas in with $1, $3,
Right,
you feel
right.
me? Because I'm just that type of nigga, and I know like, you might not have it now, but you, and I've had people who didn't have it now, but they came and got me on the last one, and it was like, man, you made up for 3, 4, you feel me? So
Yeah, and that's so dope, man. Shout out to La Russell for doing that. I do the same thing with mixing and mastering. I tried to make mixing and mastering as affordable as I can, but y'all see, that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do the music review segment of the show. That way I can kind of show you guys how you can start to mix and master on your own. Then when you get a place to where you can fully hand that over to someone else, and there's people, you know, who can't, they just can't afford mixing and mastering. They're like, hey, can you just listen to this and check this out for me? And I'll check it out for them just because I know, and I want you guys to be able to put out as much quality music as you possibly can. And, you know, if y'all could support, you would. And I know a lot of y'all support in little ways, and I appreciate it. And I like to show that appreciate it and give back as much as I can, because, man, I know this music thing is not easy. Let's keep it going.
Man, I just think that the people gonna always choose. They gonna always take care of a nigga who take care of them. And so far, I've been right. And the only time I've ever lost is monetarily. I've never lost.
But I know there exists an artist out there who will make excuses and say, well, nobody supports me.
Right.
How do I cultivate an experience when I feel like my friends don't support what I'm doing? Or, and let's say they actually do make great art, but maybe it's their attitude, whatever the case may be. For that person, that avatar in particular, they're like, well, maybe it's a product of where you live at. They're making all the excuses for why it's happening, right? What would you kind of say to that individual about where they can start from and start to build something?
What's going on with you DIYers? Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. One thing I want to give you a heads up of is that I just released my project
Shout out to
called
CK for
Storm
the
Symphony
commercial
with my good friend Aaron Barber. Why should you care? Because I know you didn't come here for my music. You probably came for the content. If you're a rapper or a music producer, there are added bonuses for you actually purchasing the album. If you're a producer, every sample that you hear that was composed originally by Aaron Barber, you will get a royalty-free pack of 10 melodic loops that you can use royalty-free.
Yeah, we're going to talk about where he's posting
your
his
own
music
and all that good stuff. Also, FL Studio has partnered with me to give out 5 copies of FL Studio for those of you that want to start off your production career. But Curtis, I don't know how to use FL Studio. How the hell would that benefit from that? Well, along with one of the other tiers, you're also going to get my FL Studio beginners course. So this is the way that I am incentivizing those of you that actually still buy music, because you know what? Fine art still sells. And I made some fine ass art on this project that I think you're going to really, really enjoy. Make sure that you go to CurtisKing.com for more information. Now back to the video.
There you go. Check out CurtisKing.com.
I think that a nigga who's using all his time to make excuses can't use his time to make things happen. It's just simple as that.
Stop watching now.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's
you gotta earn support. I don't know why niggas just think a nigga's supposed to cheer for you. You not tight.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. You have to earn support.
Dang, they don't want to hear that,
I had
man.
years of making beats in my room, and my pops used to walk right on past, you know.
What would you make a beats on?
FL Studio. I started off producing.
That's another W for FL. I'm gonna just go ahead and
course,
say that.
man.
Yeah, FL gang in the
Right
building.
You know, but it had to get to, for him to pop his head in, it had to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
And for him to be like, I play that back, it had to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
And for the homies to be like, nigga, play that back, it had to get to a certain, you have to earn that. Nobody just has to give you that because you started.
Yeah.
So,
And there's a lot of, it's a lot of, and I get
you know
that.
how many things niggas start and then stop and go do something?
Hey, I've
like,
been there
bro,
too.
You have to earn that. That's why I don't like participation trophies. It's like, nigga, you ain't win the game. We didn't win because you feel me? Like, you can't do that shit. Like, you give those things when people earn them. You can't just give a nigga an accolade because it's like, bro, you have to earn those things. And that's just
All right, shout out to La Russell, man. Shout out to Curtis King for that dope interview too. Y'all can check out actually the full interview on his YouTube channel too. Let me go back and see if I can find it. I know he did this one recently, within the last month or so. Yeah, here it is. About a month ago. Y'all can check out the full interview that Curtis King did with La Russell over on his YouTube channel, which will be linked below. Now, let's get into, we're going to change gears a little bit. This is going to be a quick segment. I want to show you guys where and how you can release your music if you decide that this is the route you want to go. If you decide you want to go the route of getting your music directly to consumers instead of going through like a third party, whether that be Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube Music. So there are a couple options out there, and I want to go over those real quick and show you guys how you can get your music directly to your fans if that's something that you choose and decide you want to do. So Curtis King is using a platform called Even, and big shout out to Even. They're doing some dope things. It's more of a new platform, and you can kind of see here how everything works. But this is the landing page that Curtis King has for his most recent album, which is called Storm Symphony. It's got a little bit of preview. This is a dope landing page. It shows you everything that it comes with. Here, it gives you information about the release, all that good stuff. All right, so then you can see here he has an option. Let me read what this description says too, because I know he put time into writing it. Step into the world of Storm's Symphony, an awe-inspiring audio odyssey that weaves a tale of resilience from the depths of tragedy to the peaks of triumph. Yeah, and TK said, I'm about to use it now. So what happens when an artist or somebody that wants to purchase your album gets to this page? So they'll click buy now, and then it's going to make you log in, which I think I signed up. I think I signed up for Even, but I can't remember. Hold on a second. I'm going to switch screens and let me see if I can log in. I'm pretty sure I signed up, and I think there's a way that you can do it without having to sign up. I can't remember. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and log in real quick, so that way y'all can see what happens. All right, so I logged in. Then you go to buy now, and what it's going to do is going to take you to this checkout page. Then once you get to the checkout page, y'all can see all my information there. It's going to give you the option here to pay what you want. It says this is a pay what you want release with a minimum of $10. Select change amount to change the price. So what'll happen is you can change the amount. You can go to $10, so you guys can put a minimum price on there, and then you've got it in there. You click pay, you check out, boom, that's it. They make it super easy. Now, shout out to Even. Let's go over to their about page. That way you guys can kind of hear more information on how everything works. So of course they work with La Russell, and he's done really well by using this platform. Here's the case study they have. They said, buy the art from the artist. La Russell released his album using Even 1 week before his album was made available on streaming platforms. Again, this is another way that you can utilize the direct to consumer option in conjunction with streaming. So I think there's an option to do both. And I know CK, he's probably going to find his way into figuring out how he can do both. I think for him, just because he's such a great content creator, that it would be to make content around maybe a single off of the album, have the album out, have the single out there for streaming, and make content on TikTok or continue to make short form content on Instagram, on YouTube, and then direct people from there to his album. I think that could be a huge benefit. Yeah, and I'll put the link for y'all. The link will be in the description of the video. But anyway, LaRussell released this album using Even 1 week before his album was made available on streaming platforms. And here's what happened. Before Even, LaRussell only made $30,000 in total streaming revenue. Oh my goodness. With Even, LaRussell made $95,000. Oh my goodness. In revenue his first month using the platform. This is dope. And then, of course, he said on the back end, he said back end by more than 4,000 fans, an average of $24 per fan. So the cool thing about this, speaking of the back end, is when people stream your music, you don't know who these people are. You don't have access to any of their information. They listen to your music. They're anonymous. You can't even find them. You don't have their email. You don't have their contact information. And it's just difficult to convert or to take ownership of your fans. But here, those 4,000 fans that bought his album, he was able to get their email information, get their phone number information, and have all of that available, which was super, super dope. And another way that you can connect directly to your fans as well. So he said this equates to over 3 million streams, which would normally require at least 6 million fans on streaming platforms. And then it said you can connect directly with your fans. Okay, so we're going to go back to this page, and some of y'all are asking for the link. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat. Barry McKnight said, I was going to ask, should we do both? I think so. I think there's a benefit to doing both just because you can funnel in more fans to your music. But that's just my opinion. I haven't done it that way yet. That's not true. I have done it. So you guys are in that funnel now, right? Because this is an example. Like, we're watching the show, we're having this platform. You guys are listening to this information. We'll do music reviews later, and then I'll give a music review. We'll talk about the music review, which I may or may not get paid from, whether that be from ad revenue or you guys sending in super chats. And then if you need mixing and mastering, then you come and find me for mixing and mastering because of the show that I did on YouTube. So, I mean, I'm doing it now. I think you should do both. And that's just me. So whether you get paid for it or not, or, whether maybe a streaming platform, I think there's a way to, I'm not saying you should take less pay. I'm saying there's a way you can utilize the platform to gain more fans and gain more loyal fans and real fans for whatever you're doing, whether that's music, whether that's mixing and mastering, whether that's building houses. And we see that just from people who create YouTube videos and create content in general. So yeah, Barry, I think you should do both, and I do both. I'm doing both right now as you guys are watching this video. So anyway, artist guide, welcome to Even. This is their artist guide. Congratulations on taking the next step towards selling directly to your fans and rewarding them. All right, things to consider before we get started. Fan connection. Take advantage of the platform functionalities to establish direct connect with your fans. Don't underestimate the importance of valuing your fans to increase their support and loyalty to your music, whether that be email, phone number, all that good stuff. Maximizing reach. Use the platform to connect with a wider audience. Always look for innovative ways to reach more people and grow your fan base. That is the reason that we created this show and started moving in a different direction. All right, creating your Even Backstage account. This shows you a little bit of more information about how you can create your Even account. Super easy to do. Click started. You let them know whether you're an artist or not. You sign up, obviously. And then boom, you're in there. So shout out to Even. Talking about Even in here, your Backstage pass. It shows you how to get started, all that good stuff. Super easy to do. Here's what your profile page looks like. So they actually have a platform where people can go and search for new artists and new music, which is super dope. And then you can add different types of banners, things like that. So it's really cool. So I dropped the link in the chat for y'all if y'all want to check out Even. There are a couple of other ways that you can do that too. Of course, y'all have heard of Bandcamp. I haven't personally used it, but a lot of people mention Bandcamp when they talk about getting your music directly to your fans. So y'all can check out Bandcamp. And then, of course, y'all knew I was going to go with BandLab, man. A lot of you guys may not know this. And this is going to blow some of y'all's minds right now. But you can sell your albums on BandLab. Now, you do not have a choose your price option on BandLab, but I'm sure that's something they could honestly easily do. And that's something that they could easily do and implement if the community were to ask for it. But on BandLab, you can sell albums on BandLab just like you would on an Even. So y'all check this out. BandLab Albums is now live. Release as many singles, EPs, and albums as you like and keep all of your earnings. Shout out to BandLab. No commission, no fees, no hidden terms and conditions. Wow. Release your latest hits for free. BandLab Album is a fast and easy and seamless way to publish music, whether it's an album or a single. I told y'all, man, BandLab is taking over the world. They are doing some amazing things for the community. I love everything that they're doing. Such a great platform. And I don't know why everybody isn't using BandLab. It's crazy. But anyway, it says give your album a title, out best songs, and we'll take care of the rest, blah, blah, blah. Bonus materials, best experience. Your journey is just as valuable as your music. Treat your fans to exclusive bonus material like demo tracks, mood boards, songwriting notes, and behind the scenes footage, which is dope. So it's a lot similar to what they're doing on Even. The only difference here is that they don't get to pick their price, but there's different ways that you could do it. I mean, you could just create another album easily and just have it at different price points. You could have a $10 album, a $30 album, $50 and $100 of the same album. And then if people want to pay the $100 to support, they can. If they want to pay the $50, whatever. Enjoy 100% of album sales. We talked about that already. Your album, your design. Y'all have seen some of the albums that we've shown on stream, and it shows what that kind of looks like, and we'll get into it in a second. And then, of course, it says publish albums on the go. Inspired. Gosh, I can't read. Inspiration can hit you in an instant. So we're making album creation happen anywhere you want it to. Download our app and stay tuned for official news on this feature. Shout out to BandLab, man, doing big things. And it's super easy to do, which I'm going to show y'all how to do it right now real quick. And then we'll get into the music reviews. I know a lot of y'all in the chat are asking about the music reviews. We're going to get into it in a second. So I did a test album. Here's how you would create it. So what you would do is you'll log into your profile. You see your profile there. Then you're going to go to library. Now, most of y'all want to go to playlists here or albums here, but that's not the right place. You're going to go to library. And then at the top, you will see playlist, albums, playlists, bands, communities. You're going to go to albums, and then you're going to go to new. And here's where you can create your album. Super easy to do. Again, you can pick a picture. So let's say we're going to get this picture of Connor Price. Shout out to Connor Price. Then you would put in your title, description, genre, which is super dope because this also allows you to, this also helps make your album searchable on BandLab too. And then you can put whether it's an LP, EP, single, mixtape, release date. You can set it as today. And then you get the option to publish it in the feed, which is dope. It says if you choose publish and feed, we will also create a post in your activity. All right. Then once you click next, excuse me, here's where you select the tracks. Dope thing about this is even if the tracks weren't created and uploaded to BandLab, you can still import them from your computer, but we upload all of our music to BandLab. So we're going to go ahead and just go through, click, and easily add these in here. BandLab gang, if y'all could add a search bar to this, this would be amazing because I know a lot of y'all put out a lot of music, and if you had a search bar there to where you could search and then select, I think that would be a big benefit. Anyway, so we'll exit out of there. Boom, that's the whole album. Then we click next, and here's where you put your price. Now you can do it for free, It just says showcase your talent by sharing music and creative journey with the world. I will say, again, with these algorithms, guys, the more quality content you put out there, the better. So if you want to just bundle some music that you've already created together, have some dope album artwork, and make a free album, this could be a great way for you guys to get more people to listen to your music. So just something to think about. Another way you can capitalize on the algorithm here. That way you have more content that's already out into the BandLab system, and you don't really have to do extra work. You're just creating another piece of content within BandLab. And it says you can also allow people to download the tracks. And then of course we have paid. And it says prefer to be rewarded for your efforts. Choose this option and let fans show their support. Anyone can stream your album. Supporters can download your album with bonus materials. You can be tipped more than the amount you set. Okay, so they do have an option to where you can kind of do a pay once you want type deal. So what you could do, I don't know, this might be too difficult for fans to get into, but what you could do is, let's say you just put it at $1. I don't know if you can put it at a penny even. Nah, it needs to be $1. So you could put it at $1, and then maybe in the description you could say, if you want to pay more, you can use the tip jar and you can tip instead of paying for the album. So you could put your album as pay for $1, and then people will be able to pay what you want. So this is what it would look like. It's not published yet, but y'all can kind of see it shows about the artist, which is dope. You can add a banner, you can add a background to make it look really cool. And BandLab makes it super easy as well. So, I mean, whether if you have a bigger following on BandLab, maybe you can use BandLab. And if you're just getting started, you can use Even. Either way, I mean, again, I'm a big fan of both. So, I mean, you could use BandLab, you could use both. You could use BandLab and Even, or you could use Even. You could use Bandcamp, whichever one works for you. Just so you guys know, the opportunities are out there, and I want to give y'all as much information as I can to help you guys get your music heard and to get paid too. Because I mean, hey, who doesn't want to make money off of their music, right?